Namaskar, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, and welcome to Dev Talks. This is Aadi Achint. I have with me Mr. Deep Haldar, sir. Namaskar once again. Thank you
Namaskar,
so
sir.
much.
Thank you.
After Bengal, Bangladesh is in a bolte na, it's sort of in a shock therapy mode. They are trying to kind of wrap their heads around, and their response has been to go back to China.
Yes.
So, what do you think is happening here? Is this just a response, or they are wanting to kind of go back into the fold of China?
So I was just, in fact, I'm going to write the interview with Harun Al Rashid. He's a former Bangladesh ambassador to Morocco. He's a pretty well-known face because he famously resigned when Yunus took over,
Hmm.
saying that he had time. I mean, he was asked to come back to Dhaka, and he would have perhaps been given a new assignment, or maybe not. We know what Yunus was doing with bureaucrats and diplomats who he
Hmm.
did not agree with. So he resigned, and he put up a long Facebook post saying that Yunus is literally handing the country over to fundamentalist forces, and that was quite something. For a career diplomat to put out a Facebook post like that, and then he went to Canada where he's currently staying. Now I was talking to him about the China visit, Tariq Rahman, and I was asking him if it's just one of those things, a slight recalibration so that you can bargain harder with third party. So he said, no, it's not actually that. He is actually pandering to the same fundamentalist forces that Yunus pandered to, and those forces are vehemently anti-India. And even as Jamaat is, he should be wary of Jamaat, Tariq Rahman. Tariq Rahman also does not want to piss off the Jamaat and the other fundamentalist forces in the country, which are so vehemently anti-India that he has to do a two-nation tour, and he has to show his love and dependence on China. And this is not just to sort of pacify those forces within his country, but he says it's a serious strategic shift from the Hasina time, that he is trying to really cozy up to China uh, at the expense of India. So this is what a former Bangladeshi ambassador told me, Harun Al Rashid. And if you have seen, I think I sent you one reel. Very prominent gentleman. He's a barrister and Sharia. He's a barrister, and he's a talking head. He's always sort of on TV, in sort of give on podcasts and talking shit about India. And people like him are constantly egging the government on to declare war on India. So the new thing in Bangladesh is, and this is not just some rabid mullah on the road. These are former military officers, diplomats, former diplomats, people like Shariar, who are saying that if India looks at Bangladesh in a way that Bangladesh does not like, India will be broken into 17 pieces. Now, I checked and rechecked various such reels by various people, and they say the same thing, 17 pieces. So I'm very interested in finding out what those pieces are. I mean, what are they conceptualizing? It's not a random number. It's not 18, 20, 7,
Yeah.
10,
So there's a
17
history.
pieces.
There's a history to this. If you remember the Communist Party
Yeah,
at the time of independence, and the whole, their agenda was to break India into 17 pieces,
right. So
right? So there's a history.
specifically 17 pieces, and these are very senior gentlemen, if I may use that word for them, who are saying this thing. So I think Tariq Rahman is also, uh, and for Harun Al Rashid, his words, not mine, that India has been exceptionally warm with him. Whether it's Jaishankar, going there at the funeral of his mother, the former Prime Minister Khaleda Zia, or Om Birla Saab landing up at his inauguration. India has been extremely positive, extremely warm towards him. We know that there have been dialogue with Tariq even as the situation unfolded in Bangladesh after August 2024. And there are voices in Bangladesh which believe that one of the reasons, and this is strictly voices in Bangladesh, that believe that Tariq Rahman came back to Dhaka after being assured by India that no harm will come to him. So the voices believe that there was a threat to the life of Tariq Rahman by forces inimical to him within his country. And it is only after India said that, okay, you will sort of be okay, that he went back to fight an election. Okay. And this is something he's commonly accused of and targeted by the much of the opposition space, much of his critiques. And so I don't know the veracity of this. This is the political talk in Bangladesh. Uh, it ebbed to a little bit, ebbed a little bit after the election. This kind of talk mostly happened to the run up to the election. That he has come back after being given assurance by India that you will be protected, which makes me chuckle. That I mean, for all the anti-India hate, I mean, your guy has to come back after being assured by India that okay, no harm will come your way. Okay, and now Harun al-Rashid says that he is deliberately trying to maybe not needle India the way Yunus did, but follow Yunus's trajectory in terms of recalibrating Dhaka's relationship with Delhi in a way which doesn't suit Delhi, or in a way that irks Delhi. So it's not just it's not just posturing in China. He's apparently serious about what he's doing.
So basically, he's being pushed into that. He's being told, "Ki, if you don't do it, then we will kind of."
Yes, I mean apparently he is in, though he won big. I mean it's a very decisive electoral victory, but the sense I get is that he is uh, there is so much anti-Indianism again that he has to somehow keep pandering to those forces. Right now, he's not doing it the way Yunus did. Yunus was more direct, and you know how Yunus was, but he is also trying to sort of pacify those forces, not directly say things against India, but from time to time, sort of lean towards China, talk to Turkey, talk to Pakistan. So he's maintaining this fine balance just to keep his kingdom.
You know,
Meanwhile, anti-Indianism is speaking. We will come to this over the Gaibandha district 81 feet statue of Lord Ram. If you, it's crazy the kind of stuff that's being said about India, about Hindus in particular, about their Hindus, about Hindus of Bangladesh, and we'll come to that. But like I said, anti-Indianism is peaking again. I mean, there's a lot of talk about Dinesh Trivedi, about a statement he made, which was very interesting, I thought. And so the political atmosphere in Bangladesh is heating up, and it is very anti-India.
now how does this balance out with the fact that they're asking for visas to be opened up?
Yes, that's the funny bit. And so in 7 days, you saw a lakh and a few more.
Yeah.
Bangladeshis applied for visa. It doesn't. I saw saw a newsreel this morning of a gentleman, of a Muslim gentleman, Muslim Bangladeshi gentleman, whose wife and child got a visa, but he did not for whatever reason. And he said that India is anti-Muslim. They are only giving visas to Bangladeshi Hindus. Now, since I saw his interview, his child and his wife are also Muslim. So he was so I don't know how he could of all people come up and say this, but it's not true at all. I mean, India has that's why I put out a tweet that why hate India so much when you need India. I mean, what is the? I mean, it's a curious sentiment that you want to come to India. You are you are lining up outside the Indian visa office to get visas, and yet but you want to avail of the for health benefits, medical benefits. You want to come and shop here. You want to see the country, and yet you have such rabid anti-India hate in you. And nothing has happened. If you see from 2020, I mean, India has Delhi has been extremely accommodating of the new government, new elected government, because that was our stance that we will talk to an elected government. We won't talk to an unelected one. And Yunus was an unelected. Yunus led an unelected government. But I mean, I don't know what explains this rise in anti-India hate again. So that's why I was speaking to Harun al-Rashid. I know Harun for a while, and he said that Tariq is following the same uh, policies of Yunus. He's just tweaking it a little so that he doesn't, and he doesn't appear to be somebody who can't be done business with by Delhi. But it's very interesting line. He said he is looking India in the eye. He is tempting India. You know, so and this all these Jamaat guys, they're thinking like, oh, let India come and attack us. We have China now, and we have Pakistan, and there's Turkey. So let India come and attack us. We are getting drones from China. We are getting this from Turkey, that from Pakistan. So yeah,
That's very interesting. But what's up with the army chief? Because he suddenly has turned Islamic. What's happened to him?
army chief has turned Islamic, which is very interesting. He said so. He spoke about the importance of religion in the army. He's grown a beard. He was Walker was always a religious guy. Even in Pakistan, you know this better than I. There have been people in positions of power in the military as well. Of course, in the founder was famously anti-religion, not anti-religion, but famously did things which Islam did not agree with. Mr. Jinnah. And
Hmm.
there have been cigar smoking and whiskey drinking generals in Pakistani army. There must still be. I don't know how much of that is publicly okay now under Munir, but there have been. I have met former major generals of Bangladesh army who are perfect gentlemen, with Marlboro smoking and whiskey drinking and Rabindranath Tagore's song promoting gentlemen. Uh, Walker was never in that category. He always had a sense of religion. Even as he said that he wants to, he always said this even during Yunus's time. He said that he wants an army which is non-political, and he wants an army which is professional. But now he's coming out and talking about the importance of religion in the army. But it's an interesting thing. I was reading up a bit on this, and I was talking to people. Uh, Very senior Bengali journalist Manoj Ghosh. He wrote a book last year, Mujib's Blunders. Have you read the book?
I haven't
Very
read it.
interesting book.
I've heard of it.
I'll send it to you. I'll give it to you. You must read the book. Mujib's Blunders. Very interesting book. He was Manoj Babu was one of the few, if not the only Indian journalist who was in Bangladesh, in East Pakistan during the 1971 War of Independence. So he was working for the statesman, and he was literally the boot on the ground from this side. He covered at great risk to himself. So he saw the atrocities, he saw what's happening. So he was sent there. He used to work for the statesman. He wrote this book called Mujib's Blunder, and he says that what we are talking about, this Islamization of Bangladesh army, this actually goes back. I mean, he doesn't talk about this, but he mentions a very interesting point. This goes back to 1973. Okay, when Sheikh Hasina's father, Sheikh Mujib, actually allowed people Bangladeshis who were anti the idea of Bangladesh, who were pro Pakistan, who did not want the birth of Bangladesh, to come back from Pakistan to, to the newly created Bangladesh. Okay, he allowed those people. These were very senior people. These were people in the civil services. These were people in politics. These were also people in the army. So in Bangladesh's bloodstream, it was Sheikh Mujib himself who, through whatever you call it, largeness of heart or whatever, magnanimity, who allowed enemies of Bangladesh to come back to Bangladesh, enemies of the idea of Bangladesh to come back to
Mhm.
Bangladesh. East Pakistanis who did not, basically East Pakistanis who did not want Bangladesh, to come back to Bangladesh. Now, Bangladesh army always had this element which was pro-Pakistan. Okay. Now, during Hasina's 15-year rule, she made sure that these elements did not rise up beyond a certain level. So one of the things you had to swear by when you became a senior general not just the top channel, was Joy Bangla, Joy Bangabandhu. Now, a hardened radical won't use these words. They would neither say Joy Bangla nor will they say Joy Bangabandhu. Okay. So they had a mechanism, internal mechanism to keep down these forces. They knew these forces are in the army. Now, but there was a mechanism during Hasina's time through stringent checks and balances, looking at their background, looking at kind of schools they went to, who their parents were, whatever. That if there are Jamaat or these radicalist ideas have infiltrated these forces, so they would not be promoted beyond a point. But now, given what's happening, what we just discussed, anti-India hate and all the very strong sense of religiosity, I think Walker is a survivor. I think
He's
he
wanting to pander to all sides, just kind of.
wanting to pander to all sides. I think he survived Yunus.
Mm.
Now it's time for Tariq, and Tariq is running an elected government, so he's going to be there for a while, hopefully. So hopefully for him. So I think Walker is just being smart, being a survivor.
Now, explain me this. Now, Jamaat seems to be kind of, the all-powerful force inside Bangladesh. Fair enough. Now, that's something that we can understand. Okay. But Jamaat now says, Bhaiya, we've got China, we've got this, we've got that. We will, do all this and that and the other. The fact remains that, the way that the Chinese have been actually doing business in Bangladesh has been super expensive for Bangladesh.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
There's that bridge now on the Ganges in India. It was built at some 5,000 crores. Over there, it cost some
Yes.
35,000 crores.
Yes.
And
Yes.
this is one.
They literally bleed Bangladesh dry. What they're suggesting and what they're fantasizing about, it will bleed Bangladesh dry.
So how are they justifying this? Because
See, they are not. This is just posturing. It's the simple fact of re-allowing Bangladeshis into India, and the long line of Bangladeshis queuing up for Indian visas show this. This is just posturing, nothing else. They're just flexing because they know there is this sentiment which they have nourished since August 2024. It is still there. Yunus did his politics around that. Tariq would want to sort of maintain a fine balance. Jamaat knows that this is something that we can use to not just push Tariq, but also come back into relevance. It's the decay in the civil society. It's the sense in Gen Z Bangladeshis of India as the enemy. A large section, there will be people who don't think that way, but unfortunately, those voices are not heard that loudly anymore. And the moment they are heard, they're termed Army League and Raw and Pro India, etc. So they are they're extremely aware, and they will keep wanting to do business with India. But this is just a political stance that they feel is profitable to them.
That's very interesting. Now, here is a setup which is wanting to do this. They're wanting to write their own suicide note, sign it in blood and everything, and go with China. What do you think is Chinese are giving them? I mean, Chinese don't have that kind of resources that they will suddenly come here and start making bridges and this and that. They don't. I mean, and what happens to the whole relationship with America?
Yes. So I think that's a very interesting point, because no matter what Tariq says about China visit, and he has spoken out in Parliament. Very interesting. Tariq said that he wants a generation of Bangladeshi kids who are in school to learn Mandarin. He said there is enormous opportunity if young Bangladeshis learn Mandarin. Okay, and to much applause in Parliament. He said this in Parliament after coming back from China. But I think it's not just India, but also America, who has a skin in the game now in Bangladesh, for whom this kind of recalibration does not work out. So, like I said, this is mostly talk. Actually, on ground, how much of this happens remains to be seen. Because America is very present now inside Bangladesh. I mean, it always was. It never really was not. But the country which America did not want should exist, should exist as an independent country. Nixon did not want the birth of Bangladesh. If you read Blood Telegram, he looked the other way when the Pakistani army was doing its genocide, and there are cables from American diplomats posted in Dhaka
Mm.
to Washington, saying that please see what's happening, and they chose not to see it. They did not want Bangladesh to be born. But America never, once it was born, America never really stopped looking at Bangladesh. It's looking at Bangladesh with an even keener eye now. You know, Hasina's term and her fall, and the whole July uprising, which they're celebrating as a revolution. So, on this point of China and Beijing and Dhaka trying to forge a strategic uh, friendship, which is more than what was, I think both DC and Delhi are, I won't say on the same page, but are sort of are watching very closely, and it does not suit either.
Because that to me seems to be a major thing, the way that the Americans have kind of pushed back on the Chinese presence inside Pakistan,
Yes, yes,
overtly and covertly. Uh,
yes,
that seems to tell me that there's going to be fires inside Bangladesh pretty soon.
yes, pretty soon. So, which is why I said that Tariq is also sort of trying to maintain uh, very fine balance, and he's, even with the numbers in parliament, his government is shaky, which is why he has to constantly, he's very, if you've seen, he's very cautious, not a statement here and there, I mean,
He's
and
quiet. He's quiet.
very quiet. He's very quiet because it's I mean, one would have thought there would be some joy, visible joy, some sort of relief. The prodigal son returns and all of that. Though Bangladeshi press had at one point in time, and I've quoted them, called him a dark prince of Bangladeshi politics. Uh, so, but I mean, the kind of deals he did when his mother was the prime minister. But anyway, that was yesterday. But he's extremely cautious, extremely careful about what he's saying and what he's seen doing. A Bangladesh, very senior Bangladeshi official who's currently sort of outside Bangladesh, who I'm in touch with. I mean, that gentleman had to leave. Very senior guy. He told me that when the Turkish foreign minister visited Dhaka recently, he met both Dr. Shafiqur Rahman, Jamaat chief, and Tariq separately. But what he's also said to both of them, that play this game of being the party in power and the party in opposition, but know that you're actually working together and your enemy is next door.
So they
Yeah.
basically want some sort of a fracas to happen with India. Now, this is very interesting
Yes.
to me.
Yes.
But there are two, three things which I've observed, and can you just help me put that into perspective? First, there were these border fights every damn day. Then the DG BGB was called here, probably software updated. After that, the border fights have kind of just
Yes.
dropped down by 90%. There are still t here and there. What they're doing is getting this international media, Al Jazeera and Financial Times, and see, they're throwing people and all that. The only reason why Dhaka would be doing this is because the number of people are now becoming a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
Where they are realizing, yeah, we thought 1,000, 2,000, this is bloody, getting to be a little bit of a challenge. So let's raise up international fervor. Here, look at this, what are they doing?
Yeah.
So that means India is now staying quiet because India's purpose is very clear. That was, I need to throw back people. Fair enough. You want some visas, take some visas, fair enough. But I am still going to throw back people.
Yeah.
Is that where you see our policy right now? That fair enough. You want to go to China, you go to China, you do what you want to.
I
I'm
think
going to throw back.
I think India is not making any noise because I think
Yeah.
India is just in India. India has Delhi has planned to do what it has to do. Okay, and now with the BJP government in power in West Bengal, there might be some hiccups along the way. There was a report that there is some trouble with a bit of the land that's being earmarked as sort of as the BSF borders fencing area. But
Integral.
yes, but these are minor hiccups. I think India now knows what it has to do. It's not, my one of my co-authors for my last book, Inshallah Bangladesh, Shahidul Hassan Khokun. He's now in India, and he has been following border guards Bangladesh vis-a-vis BSF and Indian Army, Bangladesh Army. I mean, that's not a comparison, but more so Raw and ISI, and he has a very interesting observation about how India operates. He said that I have from my long, and he used to report for India Today from Dhaka. He said from my long association with officers sort of who were sent as you know sort of raw officials. I mean, you don't say you're a raw official, but from whoever he thought was a raw official. He said India acts very quietly while Pakistan makes a lot of noise.
Mhm.
So India acts very quietly, and India has a lot of patience. So India is not going to react if you say something silly, if you say something provocative. It will just keep quiet. It will do what it has to do when the time comes. India doesn't react to provocations so fast. India is very, very, very quiet and observant, and its moves are very long thought of, and suddenly things will change. So there is a specifically on the question of PSF and border guards Bangladesh. If you see some of the stuff that's written in their on the social media, some of the stuff that's, I don't know where they go to get those reels from, whether it's play acting, but I see reel after, and my feed has all kinds of such reels from Bangladesh, because this is what I sort of write on and talk about, of this gentleman in a BSF Jawan's uniform, who has fallen at the feet of a border guards Bangladesh guy,
Yeah, that's
and
it.
that guy,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, you saw that, no? Eh,
That was debunked by a Bangladeshi itself. I forget.
yes. So
Yeah.
those things are so popular, and it's classic inferiority complex, that you want to somehow show that you are a superior force, and you are making fun of directly making fun of the border security force. You are making fun of Indian armed forces, and you now have China, now have Turkey, and you now have Pakistan with you, so you're that much stronger, and you're going to buy drones. You are modernizing your air force. Your navy
Going
is going to get modernized. Yeah, yeah. So I basically read it as just that. It's these are words coming out of a deep sense of inferiority complex,
do you
very
think do
deep
you think
sense of inferiority complex.
do you think this is attention diversion? Because you keep creating this sort of a thing so that there is a perception that goes in the people. Yeah, nee, our forces are holding these. There's no pushback happening and all that stuff. So you're trying to
It's
create
also
that.
that. Yes. It's also that you are creating diversions so that you don't actually see that, okay, these are the number of people who are being pushed back.
Hmm. Because see, I see the pushbacks taking place every day. I
Yeah.
mean,
So
I
they
have
have
my.
a term. They have their term for pushbacks. They're calling it push
Hmm.
in. So they are saying they're being pushed in, but
Hmm.
we are calling it pushback. So
Yeah,
yeah, they want the world to sit up and take notice, and yeah,
they're trying their best to do that. So
yeah,
I think India is trying to not say anything by just "ठीक है यार, fair enough. We need to do this, so let's just do it.
yeah.
Let them
So
keep flying, whatever it is.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
that.
Delhi has a lot of patience. What's interesting also is that there are among us Indians, the people in Delhi's sort of people among Delhi's talking heads who say who take a very pro BNP pro Jamaat line sometimes in talks. I'm sure you know some of them, or you have heard of some of them. Which I mean, I know I can tell this to you. I'm open to all kinds of debates, and I'm always open to, as a journalist, criticizing our government. But anything that hinders our national security, I get very, very cagey. I think that's a red line for me that you cannot cross.
Yeah,
So it's
absolutely.
also a part of the problem is these people are also quoted by Bangladeshi media to show that somehow Indians are not on the same page with the government when it comes to these issues.
Hmm.
So, and you know how things work, you know how BBC works, how sort of
Yeah,
foreign
yeah,
media, Al Jazeera
yeah.
works. So the narrative building happens how it has always happened, and with quotable quotes from some Indian, uh,
Most of
you
them are
know,
TMC jobs, yeah. So
Bangladesh, Bangladesh specialists, quote unquote.
yeah, most of them are
Uh,
TMC guys. So it's now pretty much well
so
known how.
yes, but also some
Yeah,
very
yeah.
famous, apparently non-political academics and sort of
I'll just say one word, Ghanta.
scholars. Huh?
Just say one word, Ghanta.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Funny thing is, and I'll say this to you. So what happened was a couple of days ago, uh, there was this chap from Awami League who used to be in touch with me. I don't want to say his name. Anyways, I'm sure he'll see the podcast and he'll know I'm talking about him. So
yeah,
he
yeah.
he, he texts me. He said, "Raw agent caught in Bangladesh." I said, "Acha, really? Raw agent caught in Bangladesh? Fantastic. Send me the details." So he sends me a detail where one new paper is there where it is written, "You are now being assigned to Bangladesh by Colonel so and so." I said, "Yaar, what the fuck are you doing? I can create 10 papers like this. This
Did
is
I
a
did I
joke."
did I tell you this? I mean, now we can talk about this. So in the last election that Hasina's party fought 2024, there was a Hindu gentleman, okay, who was a former army leaguer who was denied a ticket by Sheikh Hasina. He's also now in India. Who was denied a ticket by Sheikh Hasina, who fought as an independent, okay, in a Muslim majority constituency,
And
okay, and defeating the person who was nominated by Army League, okay. And one of the things he said is, and he's an interesting guy. One of the things he said is that I have the support of Raw. It was crazy. It was a Muslim majority area, and that chap won the bloody election. So
not bad.
for them, Raw is everywhere. It's
Yeah.
crazy how they think everything is, every time they don't agree with somebody, that person has to be wrong.
Yeah. So this
Yeah,
guy says, "See, this is evidence and all that." I said, "Yeah, I can type this out in 10 minutes and print out as many as you want. I mean, this
yeah,
is book
yeah,
form for." And let me tell you, no secret guy. If there's an agent that is there, and there will be 100%,
yeah,
but nobody's gonna carry his freaking orders with him, and that too in paper. Okay, and Raw
yeah,
doesn't operate like
yeah,
that. Raw doesn't operate under some colonel. Please understand that
yeah,
it's a
yeah,
central
yeah,
agency.
yeah.
This guy says, "Whatever makes you sleep at night, there is enough evidence. Now we will come after you." I said, "You're Awami League, right? You
Huh.
were
Oh,
you were
the
against this
infiltration
stuff."
of the Jamaat
Hmm.
in inside Army League is another story. Of the infiltration of Jamaat in BNP, of course, is well known, but the infiltration of Jamaat in Army League is a Jamaat is everywhere,
Yeah.
everywhere.
Then this guy says, "Oh, you are in denial. We will showcase to the world media." I said, "Buddy, you're in India right now. You're sitting here, eating here, and now you want to
Yeah,
crap on this.
yeah,
Do yeah." I just told him, "Listen, just stop it, okay? If you're
yeah,
that capable, then you know what? Please take Sheikh Hasina and go back, and let's see what happens after that.
yeah. Which
Don't
which
do
which
that."
reminds me, I've read Sheikh Hasina's interview with
Yeah,
NDTV, where she
that
said
was
that
my
she's going
next
to go back
question.
this
That,
year.
that was my
Sorry.
next question. That was my next question,
Yeah,
Sheikh
yeah, yeah,
Hasina.
yeah, 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 yeah,
I will ask you that. So this guy
yeah,
says, all the things he was getting very aggressive. So I had to tell him, "Yeah, listen, just stop it. Okay, no, you are blabbermouth. You don't know anything about Bangladesh." I said, "Okay, fine, fair enough. Chalega.
yeah,
All the people that you get don't know anything." I said, "Chalega, no problem. You're free to
yeah,
not watch. Don't worry, everything is all right. But just let me know when you're going back to Bangladesh, so that I can tell my friends in Bangladesh that you're coming back. So
yeah,
then they will
yeah,
take care of you."
yeah,
He, in previous conversations, he was telling me that we are planning to take Sheikh Hasina back, and this year that she will go back. What do you think is that is just
I don't think
information?
that's. I don't think that. One of the things, I don't know how to read this, but read this as far as the Army League is concerned. One of the things is the complete failure, and I have to stress on this: the complete failure of Army League as a party to reinvent himself after July 2024, July-August 2024. I mean, they got lucky that India acted in such good faith and saved Sheikh Hasina's life. I mean, this has to be said. I mean, you saw those guys who came out with her underwear.
Yeah, yeah.
So imagine if she was inside her
She was
official
ripped off.
residence. Yeah, we can't even begin to think what would have happened to her, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, but ever since then, Sheikh Hasina is also sort of a certain age, right? But the complete failure of its leadership to reinvent the party. So it was first anti Yunus, now it's anti Tariq, which is a given, which would happen because sort of they are now not in power, not even in opposition in their country. But this interview of Sheikh Hasina is just that. I don't see any way. I don't know. Crazy things happen. I don't see any way Sheikh Hasina can go back this year. I don't know what happens. It's an elected government. Whatever will happen, right? I don't think a July kind of revolution is going to happen in Bangladesh
No,
so soon,
no, no.
right? I mean, they have learned their lesson. It doesn't work out for the Jamaat also. They will do this posturing. They'll take out processions. They'll burn some effigies. They have been going out and trying to burn effigies of Mr. Amit Shah. All of
Mhm.
these things happen, but I don't think the government is going to fall. If the government doesn't fall, I think one thing Tariq will not do is allow the Army League to come back, at least so soon. And I don't think Sheikh Hasina, it may be sort of, I might get some hate from my friends in Army League, also from 1971 loving people in Bangladesh. I don't see how Army League can reinvent himself and become relevant again in Bangladesh's politics, at
No, no,
least so soon.
no. I don't think so. I absolutely agree. There is
Yeah.
no chance because one thing is that it's a person-based party. It's not a ideology-based party, right?
Yes.
And so
Yes.
person-based party kind of withers away, and you can look at Mamata Banerjee as a clear example.
Yeah.
Uh, when the person
So
kind of lost, and the entire thing just withered away. It's just
it
finished.
is it's a very it's a very powerful idea. It's the idea behind the creation of a nation. But as far as the structure of a political party is concerned, I don't think I really don't. I speak to some of them from time to time. I don't see any. They are now moving on. Some of them, the mid-level guys, they're moving on. They're trying to go get on with their lives, business, jobs, whatever. The more well-connected, more privileged ones go to Europe, go to America. Not so privileged
Yeah.
ones go to Dubai. Still less privileged ones go to Malaysia. From India, they're also leaving India in large numbers. Others are also thinking of doing so. I don't really see how the party is going to sort of beyond. You see some of the processions they take out. There's some couple of guys. Some are rounded up. Some are let go. Many of their leaders are still in jail, even after change in government. And but beyond all this, even outside their country, people who are whether they're in Kolkata, Delhi, or DC, wherever, I don't read anything into their action, words and actions which talk about a restructuring of the party and moving beyond Sheikh Hasina and the family.
Yeah. They could have done that by now. It's
Yeah,
been a while. They could have done that by now, created a
yeah,
leadership, reset the entire paradigm, and kind of negotiated with Tariq to give them some space over there. And I'm sure he would have happily given that, considering the fact that he doesn't also probably want the Jamaat to become that powerful. So it would have been a three-way fight. Then it's a little
yeah.
easier for him. Which brings me to my last question. As far as the Jamaat is concerned, what is the public acceptance of the Jamaat?
The public has an acceptance of Jamaat. If you because the Jamaat it has Jamaat has moved beyond the idea of the Jamaat has moved beyond the stereotype that many of us have in our mind, which is that of a Sharia law and long beard, no mustache, skull cap. The Jamaat has infiltrated academia, it has infiltrated media. So there are Jamaatis who have a lifestyle which is which you won't associate with people who hold such views, religious, ideological, and political. So such is the infiltration of Jamaat, okay, even among the so-called elite, a section of it, that its acceptance now increasingly. aided and of course by their very pronounced anti-Indianism, and constantly pandering to Jamaat is a shape-shifting, uh, constantly reinventing, but also not letting go of some of its core ideologies, kind of entity. Okay, so Jamaat is a very very smart force. I am I have at length spoken written about it, but I have to give them this: they're extremely smart. So
Mm.
their head may say something, but how they operate is very different. Their penetration, especially among the talking heads, it's so sometimes you won't even know you're talking to a Jamati guy. You know, a lot of their academics come to Delhi, come to Kolkata, meet you outside India at normal venues, and you when you sit and wine and dine with them, you won't also perhaps know that they are Jamatis, but they're very, 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 very strong anti-Indianism in their heart. Very clear idea of what they want to achieve, which is not, which cannot, of course, they also understand cannot be an immediate goal. So, what you asked, what is the acceptance of Jamaat? Jamaat's acceptance is only growing, and the like I said, I mean, there's Jamaat in Army League, the gentleman you were speaking to. I mean, there's Jamaat. They may not officially belong to Jamaat, but that ideology of anti-Indianism, pro hard religion, pro Pakistan, that remains. And there's of course the number of seats in parliament, and it being the first time in Bangladesh's political history, such a big political force. But there is also this thing about their private universities. There's also a thing about their bureaucracy, right? The only antidote to the idea of Jamaat Adi, and that's the sad bit with the decline, this kind of decline of the Army League, was the Army League. There is no other. See, the left was always a Dhaka centric, mostly in college university campus kind of political space, right? They may be there in sort of in their plays and their books and their cinema, some of their cinema, but they were never worth anything really in Bangladesh politics. The only antidote to the Jamaat, to a large degree, was the Army League. And with the decline of Army League, what is there? So Jamaat does not have to be in power to change how Bangladesh thinks tomorrow or today. It is doing what it is doing. It can well be in opposition in the next election also and the election after. But the damage that's happening inside Bangladesh, there's no stopping of that.
That is true, sir. That is true.
You can have a hair gelled back, somebody who's openly sprouting a quote unquote very Western lifestyle, eating all kinds of food, drinking even guy next to you, talking about Hollywood cinema, who's a Jamati at heart. I mean,
Mm.
that has already that's been happening for a while. And Sheikh Hasina herself should have woken up. When she should have woken up. She should have woken up, especially after the holy artisan attack.
Yep.
When those young kids went and opened fire on their own sort of almost their own section of society, right? But and these are kids from middle class homes who went to good schools, who did not go to madrasas, who went to proper schools. And if they can think like this, there's no hope. There is Bangladesh. It's very sad because how the way I'm attached to the country, but this is a very touchy point for me. The spread of idea of Jamaat, not just as a political entity, but as an idea, which goes into how they view their neighbors, how they view India, how they view 1971, how they view their own history, is a very
Quite.
scary one.
Yeah, yeah. That's. I think it's going to be difficult, but it's
Very
you know
difficult.
yeah, one hell of a ride for Bangladesh going forward. The future seems bleak, of course, but let's see what actually takes place. Deep Sab, always a pleasure to have you on the platform and
Thanks a
discuss
lot.
in depth.
Thank you
Uh,
so much.
My pleasure, absolutely. And to the audience, see, uh, this is a reality of the game. Yeah, you can smack them on the face, and they'll probably improve their ways for 5 days, but they'll come back. These
Yeah.
jadis are jadi jamatis or whatever you want to call them. They're not the ones that will get smacked and forget. So they're here to stay, and they're here to kind of hold their territory. So yeah, we can take certain actions. We can probably cut off one part of Bangladesh, this, that, and all that, which has been spoken about. But I don't think that will solve the situation. This is a long game, and we'll have to play it long. So that's something we'll have to see, understand, and then ensure that our interests, which are our national security, is taken up. That's something I learned from this particular discussion. Thank you, and please like, subscribe, and share this with your friends and families. Follow Deep Saab on Twitter. He writes pretty insightful articles as well as his tweets. Thank you so much. Namaskar. Jai Hind. Jai Bharat.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.